Hello everyone, welcome to week 7. This week we're all about advertising, commercial culture, and public relations, chapters 11 and 12 in our book. So our primary platform for advertising expansion in this modern day and age is mobile devices and mobile advertising. These little pieces of hardware really are an advertiser's dream. Think about it. Everywhere we go, we take these mobily connected screens with us. If companies can get us to allow them to text us or maybe email us information or download an app that will send notifications to get us to check in, well, they are getting our eyes to see their logos and maybe even make a few small purchases along the way. And these companies don't even have to worry about where we will be seeing these ads. We always bring them with us on our phone. Because online and mobile devices dovetail so nicely and are the primary way that people access the internet all around the world, let's kick off this discussion about modern advertising and ethics by exploring online advertising. Most online ads are placed by large internet companies, giving traditional agencies a run for their money. And like I discussed in our first slide, the power of modern advertising is individualistic and targeting. Each time you as a consumer log onto the internet, cookies or other tracking algorithms track what you search for and even what parts of a screen your mouse hovers over. This data is then used to specifically target ads and deals to your searching interests and patterns. When I had my baby girl last May, within a few weeks, most of my Google and Facebook ads shifted to diapers and baby care. Social media has been the biggest propellant of targeted marketing, and we as users willingly take and offer our preferences, likes, dislikes, life statuses, relationships, and dreams to these ad agencies. So let's shift to chat about the different persuasive techniques out there in contemporary advertising. Actually, a lot of these are tale as old as time techniques that are just now seen across different platforms. Pictured here is an example of famous person testimonials where a product is endorsed by a well-known person or a celebrity. And other types include plain folks pitch, such as this Volkswagen slogan of drivers wanted. Also, there's the snob appeal approach, the bandwagon effect, irritation advertising, and hidden fear appeal. Here's an example of fear-based advertising, a fire and brimstone tactic probably as old as time itself. One interesting thing to note is that advertising research has found that fear tactics are not deeply persuasive. They can, on a shallower emotional level, get people to respond out of fear, perhaps for a short amount of time, but these techniques don't usually last for the long haul in changing perceptions. Remember earlier in the semester when we talked about schema theory and the whole concept that we have a grid in our brains that helps us decide what information is important and what information is not, and how we discussed that the beginnings of mass media research were based on the whole idea of can fear and persistent messaging shift people's attitudes, and because a lot of people were concerned about this during World War II and Hitler's campaign. There's a lot of interesting theories out there about why people are persuaded to do what they do. An interesting one, if you really like this topic and it fascinates you, check out the elaboration likelihood model. You can look for this in articles on our Front Range Community College library database or maybe Google Scholar. But in a nutshell, the elaboration likelihood model maps out how persuasive messages can or cannot penetrate people's minds. And it kind of takes the stance that we have a lot of complicated brain wiring and our schemas are pretty solid, especially once we reach adulthood. And so it can be very hard for persuasive messages to get in and change our thinking unless a shocking or maybe life-changing event happens. So just something to consider, something extra if you are interested in that type of research. Another technique is the association principle. This refers to the association of a product to a positive cultural value or an image. These ads often convince us, the consumers, that there is an innate relationship between brand names and attitudes. A classic example of this is found in the sexual or cultural objectification of women in advertising. So head over to page 401 to read the case study on stereotyping and advertising, then weigh in with your thoughts about the issue on this week's discussion page. And here's another technique that's so pervasive in our media and culture that we might not even notice it anymore: product placement. For this technique, companies place ads within movies, TV shows, comic books, video games, and even blogs. A great documentary to watch exploring how this technique functions in our society is Morgan Spurlock's The Greatest Movie Ever Sold. It's pretty entertaining. It'd be great to rent this weekend. We won't have an assignment on it, but definitely check it out sometime. It's a really great film. So brands are powerful. Ads promote and shape our cultural ideals. As you journey through our content this week, keep in mind how these ideals influence your own perceptions of what it means to live a happy, good life.